want to move POV Sports. My vision is just to move it into the next round with analytics and just giving you different sports that people don't talk about.
Don't nobody come to your house and try to take food off your plate. No. Fall out on 3. 1, 2, 3. Fall out. 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 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. Bring it down.
It's Show's Radio Live. The POV Sports Show.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to issuemedia.com here with the POV Sports Show once again, back with another show for you this week. I want to say thanks to my buddy Donio Phoenix again for the platform, and I want to introduce a buddy of ours named Walter Phillips, who has done many camps in the area, was a high school coach, as well as was at the Gary Williams Hoops Camp in Maryland, worked at John Thompson's camp, the original Hoops Camp, former high school ref, and former co-host of Round Ball Rap Basketball TV show.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
Want to get into some topics this week and see what he thinks about some things that happened in the NBA this week. Mainly the retirement of the great Tim Duncan, who retired from the NBA after 19 great seasons. I just want to run off some stats before we go into talking about Tim Duncan and all the things that he accomplished while playing for the Spurs his whole career. And through 19 seasons, Tim Duncan never missed the playoffs. He won 5 NBA titles, 3 finals MVPs, 2 league MVPs, 15-time All-Defensive Team, one of only 2 players with 26,000 points, 15,000 rebounds, and 3,000 blocks with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He and Greg Popovich also are the winningest coach-player duo in history with 1,001 wins in NBA history. Walt, do you have anything you want to talk about concerning Tim Duncan and how great he was to the game, and what your thoughts are on what he meant to the league, and how the league is going to go on without having such a great player and a great ambassador for the game?
Right. Once again, thank you for having me as a guest. I don't think the league will be able to replace him, that's for sure. I was thinking about, how I personally rate him as far as, being, how does he rate against some of the best. And I honestly have him as number 1. Just and not just you read all the statistics, but it was also the way that he carried himself, which set him apart from just about everyone. And so that's the reason why I don't think he'll ever be able to be replaced. He was 5 titles. Nowadays everyone is judged by how many titles they have, and obviously he's met that mark with 5. He was the league MVP twice. He was a Finals MVP 3 times, and he did it. The thing that made him special once again was he just did it with grace. There was never any it's all about me type attitude with him at all, which is why he from day one was even when he started off the first time I remember watching him at Wake Forest with and where he carried those teams, and I liked him from then. And I didn't think he could take it to the level that he did as a pro, but man, he was really good at Wake, really good to great at Wake his following his senior year. And man, by the time he finished his NBA career, he had upped that, I would say, about 5-6-fold. So it was just an honor and a pleasure for me personally to watch him. And even if you have a younger person who's not a basketball player, he's someone that you can point to for just to have that young person just to model themselves after, let alone forget about the sports, but just as a person. So that's what I think about Tim Duncan, and I will always, spread his name and what he accomplished to the younger folk when I come across him, again, just as someone who did it on, but more importantly, off the playing surface the way he did.
Really good analysis. Really good analysis. Me personally, I tend to think of him as a guy that he swam in his younger life. Didn't even play basketball till he was 13, I believe, 12 or 13 years old.
Right.
That was the amazing thing to me, that a guy that swam and didn't even play basketball in the Virgin Islands at all became so good and just such a leader and such a selfless guy. And my biggest memory of him is when they were in debate about building the AT&T Center, and they needed to give him lesser of a contract for the money because the city wasn't going to fund it as much as they thought they would originally. So when Pierce, the owner, and R.C. Buford and Holt came to him and asked him to take less money, he never complained. He just said okay, and I believe Orlando did come in with a lot more money to offer him, and he didn't take it. He stayed and continued on with the Spurs and went on to have the greatest career of a power forward I've ever seen in my time. Just never seen a power forward that solid in every area. Just could do everything. Just really a good player.
Yeah, and the fact that he did decide to stay with the Spurs organization, to me speaks to his intellect, because Greg Popovich, before he became the coach or named the coach, he was a GM. So he's really built that organization and that system to what it is. And let's say if you replace Tim Duncan with, let's say, another really good power forward in his class, say Kevin Garnett, if you were to switch those two, I think their careers would have been the exact opposite. So by Tim Duncan deciding to stay with the Spurs, I think he was smart enough to know, I'll get that money on the back end with a ring on each finger, including the thumb.
Hey, very true. Very true. Yeah, you know what's funny too, Walt? It's crazy because in '97 when he got drafted, the Celtics were supposed to get the number one pick. Isn't it amazing how those two franchises are totally different outside of the big three run we had with Garnett and them coming there in '08? It was crazy how those two teams went opposite ways because of that one move, that one pick.
Yeah, and Rick Pitino, he got caught because he thought, by the Celtics having those two top picks that, they were a shoe-in to get Duncan, and they didn't. And you see how his pro coaching career went with
Larry Bird is walking through that door. For all them guys not walking through that door, neither is Tim Duncan.
and neither did Tim Duncan.
That's so true. That's so true. That's so true. Okay, now I want to discuss something I heard this week with Andre Iguodala. He made a comment about the Thunder being the best team in the playoffs, even though they lost to the Warriors, and then the Cavaliers ended up beating the Warriors as well. It's funny that he says that the Thunder were, in his opinion, the best team now that Kevin Durant has become a teammate of his for the next couple of years. I was just wondering what your take is on him saying that. Do you think he's trying to start something with the Cavaliers, get them something more to think about, like they don't have another thing about now with Durant already joined the Warriors? I want to know what you think he's trying to get at, what he's trying to do here. Is he really being truthful? Do you believe they were the better team that somehow the Warriors came back on, or do you believe that the Cavaliers were the best team because they won? And me personally, I believe if you play somebody 7 games and they beat you 4, they're better than you that particular series. That's just my opinion.
Now, I just want to get the quote. And I just want some clarity on. So, what exactly did he say now?
He came out and said on Wednesday that, in his opinion, the Thunder were the best team in the playoffs, and they should have been champions. He said when the Warriors were down 3-1, they realized they couldn't make any mistakes to come back and win that series. They didn't. He almost said they didn't take the Thunder seriously until they got down 3-1, in so many words. But he's saying, in his opinion, the best team didn't win the NBA championship. He believes it was the Thunder, and it wasn't the two teams that played for it all in the finals.
No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I think the Warriors were definitely better than the Thunder, and I also thought the Warriors were better than the Cavaliers, to be honest with you. So, he may be saying that because now Kevin is going to be a teammate of his, But no, I disagree with that. The Thunder were good. Their problem was the same problem they've had for the last 3 or 4 seasons. They just needed one more guy. And we all know who that one more guy could have been. It could have been James Harden, but unfortunately, he left, went on to the Rockets, and they just could never get that one more just proven solid, big stage NBA player to go along with the two studs that they had in Kevin Garnett and Russell Westbrook.
Totally agree. I've been saying since 2012 they haven't been to the finals. And if people don't remember, in the Western Conference Finals that year, James Harden outplayed Manu Ginobili, which is the reason why they came back and beat the Spurs 4 straight games to win that series 4-2. He flat outplayed Ginobili, and I thought the owner got a little cheap on paying luxury tax because he didn't want to pay the luxury tax to keep Harden, so they traded him to the Rockets, which was, in my opinion, the beginning of the end of that run that they probably – because if you look now, the Thunder were supposed to be, in my opinion, what we had with the Warriors now, a team that could go to 4 or 5 finals in a 6-7 year span and win 3 or 4 of them. And that's what I thought they should have been. So when they looked over and saw the Warriors win last year, it's kind of like that's supposed to have been us. And then you look this year, you had them and you let them off the hook. And I just think in the long run, I think it caught up with them just, like you said, not having another bona fide bucket getter that could get a bucket in crucial situations and could also take the ball out of Westbrook's hands at times where he isn't trying to make hero plays. You know, I think they play too much one-on-one basketball, and with 5 minutes to go in the game, they go from what's been working the whole 43 minutes before, and then the last 5, it's back to hero ball. Just never understood it.
Right. And at the end of the day, I've always blamed that on coaching. You have to figure out a way to get the player or the players, if it's, if you have a duo, or even if you have a trio of your anchors, you have to get that player or those players to understand that, look, we can't win by you doing that. And I don't have a problem with you taking your talent and going one-on-one, but it has to be extremely selective. It just does, because every time you take a bad shot in a crucial moment, it deflates your teammate. And we need something out of everyone. And so when you keep on deflating your teammates, we're not going to be as good as we could be. And that was always unfortunately, that riddle was never solved for the Thunder. We all saw it. We've seen it for years now. And unfortunately, they could never just find a way to fix that issue.
So true. Wonderful analysis again on your part. I want to, first of all, thank you again for coming through to the POV Sports Show and bringing your wealth of knowledge and your years of expertise to us. And we will be looking to have you on again very soon as we head into the fall months. I want to thank you for your time, and the POV Sports Show will be back after these messages. Thank you.
Thank you.
Keep listening to It's Yours Radio Live to win 2 free all-access passes to Atlanta on July 31st for the Art of Rap Tour, featuring Public Enemy, Ice-T, Naughty by Nature, Mobb Deep, Grandmaster Melly Mel and Scorpio, MC Light, EPMD, Curtis Blow, and the Sugar Hill Gang, all hosted by the Chief Rocker, Busy B. We got the juice now. It's Yours Radio Live. Here's another Tupac moment on It's Yours Radio Live.
I think that when there's hopelessness, people revolt. Because it's like there's nothing that's like, it's like we're going, is America going to help us ever? Because, we know for a long time they haven't. Are they ever? And it's like all these things are showing us no. And there's somebody going, no, they're not going to help you. No, they're not going to help you. And then, of course, we sing, no, they're not helping us. It all comes down to we got to survive. We got to survive here in this country. Because I'm not going back to Africa. We got to survive here. For us to survive here, white folks, black folks, Korean folks, Mexican folks, Puerto Ricans, we got to understand each other. We got to take a bigger chance. And when I say American, people think I'm talking about Uncle Sam. I mean like actually Uncle Sam with the gray hair and the flag. I mean you. You, the guy, you know, you, the mechanic, wherever, you. I mean, you need to do something. It's yours.
They got the protest signs. They talking about the 3 strikes you're out. They talking about the welfare reform. They talking about the incarceration rates that's a result of his policies.
Huh? I just told you it was a bloody shirt and the money. Just public. All you gotta do is go look it up. Huh? I didn't come here to find out what you think.
I'm just asking.
No, you didn't. You say you thought it. I'm not interviewing you. You interviewing me. I don't want to hear it.
Okay.
Huh? But you gonna do it. I respect who you gonna be. So don't sit here and tell me you thought it was the Sony thing. Huh?
Okay.
What was the Sony thing about? Tell my grandmother.
Well, my understanding was that he was going to get the Beatles catalog.
He already had it. Huh?
Okay.
He bought the Beatles catalog when his people told him don't buy it. He bought it for $48 million. When they killed him, it was worth $2.5 billion. Huh? Huh? Stuff go on in your house I don't know nothing about. There's a persona out there I don't know nothing about. When we sitting here with respect for one, I don't want to hear what you thought. I saw the check, nigga. Huh? So I got to sit here and what you thought. Who cares? Huh? That's all I'm saying.
I understand.
And then what they didn't know when they came out with the will, his 3 children's name was misspelled. Huh?
So
The day he was supposed to have signed it,
So it's a fake will.
it's a fake will. Huh? That's what I'm saying. Okay? That's all. And so if I was over there and you just said, well, what role did Sony play? No, you didn't say that. I thought I'm not here because of what you think. Huh?
Okay.
Does Sony have anything? Huh? That's,
Okay, I'll ask
no,
better.
you don't have to ask that. I don't care.
No, I'll phrase better with the.
No, I'm saying it's already. You already said it, huh? And you ain't gonna stop that overnight. And I don't want you to stop it overnight, huh? There's people listening to me that's cleansed when you said what you said, huh? Cause we know.
Listen to Knowledge Talk, where history, social issues, culture, and politics are discussed weekdays from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. only on It's Yours Radio Live.
It's yours.
I'd like to welcome you back to the POV Sports Show here. Once again, I want to thank my guy, Walter Phillips, for coming through and once again providing us with great knowledge and expertise on basketball, on everything basketball. He had great analysis on the whole situation with Tim Duncan retiring and Andre Iguodala making some comments this week about the Warriors and the Cavaliers not being better than the Thunder, who ended up not even getting to the finals by losing to the Warriors, and then the Warriors lost to the Cavs. So we had some good analysis on both of those. I personally want to touch a subject that's been going on for 18 months, and it's concerning Deflategate, Tom Brady versus the NFL. I know everyone's familiar with what went down January 2014 in the AFC Championship game. The Colts complained that the Patriots had the ball shrunk down for Brady to get better grip. The case went to court, and Brady's suspension at the time was overturned by the circuit court last year, allowing him to play the whole season. But then a few weeks ago, the circuit court overturned the suspension and brought it back up and made it 4 games again, meaning he'll miss the first 4 games of this year unless he can get it overturned again. Well, they decided not to hear it again, meaning he's going to be suspended. He decided not to take it to the Supreme Court, meaning he gives up and he's going to finally just take the suspension and just let it be and sit out the first 4 games. I wonder, are they happy about Roger Goodell being judge and jury and everything else? Because he has complete control over anything he wants to do. And this is a guy that has completely shown ineptitude in many areas. The Ray Rice situation, other things that he's done that he's lied about and tried to cover up. It's just amazing to me that he fought this the way he did and fought this the way he did and fought this the way he did. Now Brady will be sitting out the first 4 weeks of the 2016 season, meaning Jimmy Garoppolo will be the starting quarterback for the New England Patriots opening day against the Arizona Cardinals on the road. They will then come home to play the Miami Dolphins, the Houston Texans, and the Buffalo Bills all at Foxborough. And with Bill Belichick as the head coach, 3 home games out of 4. Me personally, I expect them to win the 3 home games and lose to Arizona. I think he'll figure out a way to keep the ship afloat until Brady gets back. People forget in 2008, Brady got his ACL torn in week 1. They won 11 games with Matt Castle. They didn't win the division, but they won 11 games with Matt Castle. So I'm not too worried about New England. And they're in a division where the other starting quarterbacks are Tyrod Taylor, Geno Smith, and Ryan Tannehill. They'll be fine, people. No need to worry about the Patriots. Don't cry for them. They'll be fine. Want to move on to a little bit of golf. Today we had the final round of the British Open over in Scotland. And Henrik Stenson shot a 63 to come back and beat Phil Mickelson, who always seems to be the best man and never the groom. He comes in second so much. He takes so many risks on the golf course. He goes for shots that most guys wouldn't even attempt in practice. He attempts them in big matches and Grand Slams and majors, and it's amazing that he does what he does. And on the first round on Thursday, Phil Mickelson shot a 63. There's never been a 62 in a major, a round of 62, never. And they said that it was really a 62 and a half because it was so close to being a 62. Dave Stenson did the same thing. So with all that being said, once again, he comes up short in a major. Moving on to the next thing, I want to bring up something I talked about last week. The Euro Cup final. Portugal did defeat France 1-0. Cristiano Ronaldo was knocked out of the game, and in extra time, Eder scored the only goal for Portugal to upset France in France, which is shocking in itself. They beat Germany and France on their way to winning the Euro Cup. And based on what I heard from a teammate of Messi, his name is Neymar. He's the best player for Brazil. Him and Messi play Major League Cup ball together. They play for the Barcelona, FC Barcelona, Barca. And Neymar came out yesterday and said, in his opinion, Ronaldo is the best player in the world and should win Footballer of the Year over Messi based on him being great in club play and being great in country play. So we'll see how that all pans out. Want to let you guys know, want to send a prayer out for Serena Williams and Venus Williams' dad, Richard Williams. If you don't know, he had a massive stroke on Friday. He's the guy who taught them how to play tennis on the courts of South Central and have helped make them the players they are today as the 2 best tennis players maybe of their era for sure as women and maybe in the world. They're just 2 great players, and want to send prayers and condolences out to them and hope that he gets better, and just thank God for the opportunity he was blessed to teach them, to give us these girls to watch play consistently and to have somebody we can watch and root for, because them girls play tennis at a high level every time they step on the court. Just want to let you guys know once again, like I said last week as we were wrapping up the show, we will be traveling around the state, watching games, getting reports, getting notes, getting different things that we trying to catch up with the high schoolers and give them a little shout out here on the radio show here, on the show here, the POV Sports Show. We want to let you know to send us your information of games that you know are going to be really good and games you might want us to come to, and we'll try to get to them. And you can find me on Twitter at POV Mason Sports, and you can find me on Instagram at Devon POV. You can leave me messages, send me information on upcoming games, and you can also send me anything concerning any kind of game, basketball, football, anything. I want to just come and check it out and have reports ready for Sunday when we do the show. Want to send my condolences out, too, also to the late, great Nate Thurman, who passed away on yesterday. He passed away yesterday at the age of 74. If you don't know, he's one of the original bigs from back in the day. He averaged 15 points and 15 rebounds in his great 15-year career. He was originally a member of the San Francisco Warriors, who became the Golden State Warriors. He played 12 years for them, 2 years for the Bulls, and his last year he played with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar went on record as saying Nate Thurman was the best defensive center he ever faced. And he faced a lot of great ones. He said that was the best defensive center he ever faced. So I want to, send my prayers and condolences out to his family and everyone in the NBA family for the loss of a great player and a great person, a great humanitarian, also for the game of basketball and for life. Want to leave you with a trivia question, and you can send your answers to Devon POV Mason, Devon at Devon POV at Instagram, or you can send them to POV Mason Sports at Twitter. The trivia question I have is, who's the NBA player to record the first ever quadruple double in an NBA game when they were recording them? The first player to ever record a triple double a quadruple double in an NBA game. Also, a second trivia question: which three players have the highest per game sack average in NBA history? There's three of them, top three. You can send your answers to POV Mason Sports at Twitter, and you can also send them to Instagram at Devon POV. I want to say thank you again for a wonderful show. I want to say thank you for Walter Phillips coming on. I want to say thank you to my man Donnie Phoenix for the forum, and we just want to ask you just to continue to follow us, to continue to support us, and we're just going to keep trying to make it bigger every week and just adding things to it, and we try to get guests on. We just want to try to let everyone know that each week we're going to have new stuff, and we'll eventually have prize giveaways, and we're going to have we got trivia out today, so just want you guys to follow and to listen every Sunday night at 9 o'clock. And we want to thank you for listening today, and POV is out, and I will talk to you guys later on this week and next week. Y'all have a blessed week. Be safe out there. God bless you. Want to move POV Sports. My vision is just to move it into the next round with analytics and just giving you different sports that people don't talk about.
Try to take food off your plate. No. Ball out on three. 1, 2, 3. Ball out. 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 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6.
It Shows Radio Live. The POV Sports Show.